Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday morning worship service of First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh for April 25th, 2021. Unitarian Universalism is a welcoming and inclusive religious community, not static, but dynamic. I'm Brian Junker, chair of the Ministerial Search Committee. Musicians in the sanctuary this morning are Director of Instrumental Music, Ellen Goshen, percussionist Hugo Cruz, and me, and by recorded video, Director of Vocal Music, Chris Rust. Commissioned lay minister Stephanie Pawlowski will be our liturgist. By recorded video, Lifespan Religious Education Director Erica Shadowsong will read a story. We're receiving technical support today from Emily Sweeney and Paul Cunningham. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're glad you're here with us this morning. This is why we practice. Let's see. I think I'll just move on then. I'm honored to introduce to you our candidate for settled ministry at First Unitarian, the Reverend Dr. Kate Walker, who will be preaching today and also next Sunday, May 2nd. Reverend Kate currently serves the Mount Vernon Unitarian Church in Alexandria, Virginia. Prior to that, she served the Meadville Unitarian Church just north of here. She was raised UU and is a double UU preacher's kid. She has served in several leadership roles in the UU Ministry Association and UU History organizations and has a doctorate in ministry from Virginia Theological Seminary. She and her husband Mark and their two beloved Springer Spaniels are visiting Pittsburgh during candidating week this week, and we all look forward to getting to know them a little bit. You can find out more about Reverend Kate and Candidating Week at www.first-unitarian-pgh.org and in your email. After the service at 11:45 today, you can meet Reverend Kate in our virtual Coffee, Tea, You, and Me hour on Zoom. The Zoom link is in your email, or you may contact Nancy Latimer, nlatimerc@gmail.com to get the link. There will be a vote to call Reverend Kate at noon on Sunday, May 2nd. A Zoom link will be sent to voting members of the church on Saturday before the meeting.
Let this flame bring the heat of excitement, the warmth of love, and the light into new adventure. Let this symbol of a Unitarian Universalist faith guide our words and deeds as we create a world of liberating love and justice. Come whoever you are. Come with your hurts, your imperfections, your places that feel raw and exposed. Come whoever you are. Come with your strengths that the world shudders to hold. Come with your wild imaginings of a better world. Come with your hopes that it seems no one wants to hear. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, we will make a place for you. We will build a home together. Ours is no caravan of despair. We journey together. Come, yet again come.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Cause 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 is no caravan of leaving. Cause is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
This is one of my favorite stories, and I think you'll recognize the main character of this story. If you can see this, this is the elephant-headed god Ganesha from Hindu mythology. No doubt many of you have seen a statue of him before or a picture. He is one of the most popular and beloved gods. And this story will demonstrate one of the reasons why. High on the sacred mountain of Kailash lived the Lord Shiva and his consort, the goddess Parvati, and their two sons, Kartikeya and Ganesha. Kartikeya was a strong, athletic boy, but Ganesha was kind of funny looking. He was short and stubby-legged. He had a pot belly and then that elephant's head. But the parents loved both of their children equally, and everyone else did too. One day, a sage, a wise man known as Narada, who was also known for being very mischievous, paid the Lord Shiva and Parvati a visit. Now they knew he must be up to something. They just couldn't figure out what it was. But he bowed and he said, "I've come to pay my respects." And then he brought out a gift, a plump, ripe, beautiful mango. And he said, "I have brought you this mango as an offering. Please take this, Lord Shiva." And Shiva said, "Thank you, Narada." He took it and he was about to cut it in half to share it with Parvati when Narada said, "No, stop, my lord. If you cut that mango in half, it will lose its special powers. Only one person can eat this mango. If one person eats it, that person will become the wisest person in the universe." Shiva said, "Oh." He was a little disappointed, but he immediately gave it to Parvati. But she didn't want to eat it either. "I can't take something that my husband can't participate in. Here, you'll have to take this back, Narada." And Narada was so disappointed, or at least he appeared to be. At that very moment, Ganesha and Kartikeya came in the house, lured by the smell of the mango that had wafted outside. They looked over the grown-up shoulders. And he said, "What's that?" Kartikeya said, looking at Narada's hands. And he said, "Oh, this is an offering I brought to your parents, but they refused it, even though I am just a poor old sage." Ganesha couldn't believe it. Ganesha looked at it and he smelled the beautiful smell and he said, "Mother, how could you return such a delicious gift?" But Parvati explained, "Neither your father nor I could have it together, and we didn't want to eat it and not have the other one share, so we gave it back." Well, Kartikeya could no longer help himself. The smell was so delicious. He said, "Mother, I'll eat it. I like mangoes. I'll take it. Give it to me." But Ganesha was just as excited. "I like it. I'll take it. I like eating. It's mine." And before they knew it, the mango was flying in the air and the two brothers were fighting over who got it. Narada stepped aside to avoid getting hit by the brothers, but he was laughing. And at that moment, Shiva and Parvati knew that this had been his plan all along. "How dare you," said Lord Shiva. "You came here and you caused all this discord. I hope you're happy." "I didn't know, my lord," said Narada. "I offered the mango to you. Not to the children. You're the one who refused it. If I'd known that it would cause this fight, I would never have brought the mango. But Shiva knew that this had not to be true. And now everyone was fighting. But Parvati was not going to have all this noise in her home. She would have peace. And she said, stop. Everyone, stop. We can resolve this peacefully. And they all stopped and they all looked at her. And she said, we will have a competition. And whoever wins the competition will get the mango. And it will be a fair competition. Is that all right? And Kartikeya said, yes, mother. And Ganesha said, yes, mother, of course. Narada said, oh, Goddess Parvati, may I come up with a competition? And for reasons I don't understand, she agreed. And she said, yes, Narada, you may. Well, he already had one in mind, of course. He said, whoever circles the entire world 3 times and comes back first, that person will win the mango. Kartikeya was immediately thrilled. He knew he'd won this competition. He said to himself, I have a fast and beautiful peacock, and Ganesha only has a slow, small brown mouse. There's no way he can beat me around the world. And he immediately went off, brought out his peacock, and began his flight around the world. Well, Ganesha was disappointed for a moment. He thought, well, there's no way I can beat Kartikeya on my mouse. I wonder what I can do. How can I possibly win this competition? He hadn't given up yet. And as he thought, he suddenly had an idea. Meanwhile, Kartikeya went around the world 3 times and came back, and he ran into the house ready to claim his prize when he saw his brother Ganesha standing there with the mango in his hands. And he was so shocked he couldn't even be angry. Mother, there's no way Ganesha could have beaten me around the world. How did he come back so fast? How did he get the mango? Narada said, oh, I will explain. Ganesha came up with a brilliant idea. He told Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati that they were his parents and therefore his whole world. And he told them to stand next to each other, and then he ran around them 3 times. And that's how he won the mango. Kartikeya looked at Ganesha with disbelief, and he felt nothing but pride that his brother had come up with such a clever solution. He said, you've won this competition fairly, Ganesha. Of course you get the mango. Of course. But Ganesha smiled back. He was so pleased that his brother was proud of him. And he said, well, you take it, Kartikeya. Maybe he knew that he already had enough wisdom and Kartikeya could use some. But this is exactly why people love Lord Ganesha, because they know that if they pray to him, he can help find a way around any problem, and he can come up with the most creative solutions. He can show you how to use what you have, even if you think you're not the most talented person or the most admirable. Ganesha has a way of using your gifts. And that is the story of Ganesha and the mango.
We hold each other in our hearts and minds with all our joys and all our sorrows. We remember those who are experiencing losses of various kinds and those facing health challenges. We are aware that many are faced with heightened difficulties presented by these times that continue to be challenging to all. If you or someone you know in the church community has a temporary financial need that might be helped through the Minister's Benevolence Fund, known as Marion's Purse, please contact Reverend Connie Grant. May we find joy in our connections with each other and in the pleasures that life holds. Let us continue to care for one another and for ourselves in all the ways we can. We hold each other in our hearts and minds with all our joys and all our sorrows, whether spoken or unspoken. Let us take a moment to be quiet together.
Please join me in a few moments of personal prayer, collective prayer, and meditation. May the spirit of life and love fill our hearts. May the spirit of life and love fill our bodies with a burning energy to help ease this world's pain and suffering. May the spirit of life and love help ease the pain in our own bodies. May the spirit of justice guide our words and deeds. As we journey in this life together, may we remember that we do not walk this path alone. There are so many with us. We need only reach out, open our eyes, listen, and extend our arms. May our prayers be heard. May our voices be heard. May our song be heard. May our journey be guided with the spirit of life and love, with the holy, with the sense of justice and beauty ever unfolding. Blessed be, and amen.
Disputes enrich our love. with this bond of human love, disputes can mean a richer life. Let love continue long and show to us the way, and if that love be strong, no hurt can have a say, and if that love remain but strong, no hurt can ever have a say.
Just as we are supported and sustained by this religious community, we support and sustain this church through our financial contributions as well as through our participation. Donations by check may be mailed to the church office. Electronic donations can be made online through the church website or by texting GIVE to 412-435-1050 and following the instructions. I Too Am Beautiful by Kristen L. Harper. My inner spirit wrote, I have spent my life watching you, seeing your accomplishments, living the way I think you want me to. I have watched the way you move and the way you talk. I have listened to your story and learned your history. I have sat patiently as you explained your politics, your religion, your philosophy of life. I have walked with you on a journey of faith, waiting for my turn to share, to explain, to lead. Look at me. I am black and you are white, but I too am beautiful. Look at my face, my hair, my clothes. They may be different, but aren't they worthy of your gaze? Look at my walk, the way my hips sway to the music in my soul, the way my proud neck tilts to the sun. Yes, look at me. Look at my darkness. It contains light and love, rebirth and growth. Look at my pain. Don't turn away. Look at the way you see me. I am human. I have tears and fears. I have laughter and joy. Look at me and walk with me. I too am beautiful.
See me when the light gets dark. Sun goes down over Gramercy Park. It becomes easy to hide pieces away, making up someone in the hope that you'll stay. 'Cause I've been trying to be everything I think you want me to be. I've been doing all the things that I think you want to see. I'm trying to fulfill you with your every need. You're falling for a person that's not even me. You're falling for a person that's not even me. And now you're falling for a person that's not even me. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't out to deceive. I like the attention with your eyes on me. The trouble with the truth is it's so hard to believe. Here I stand with my heart on my sleeve. I've been trying to be everything I think you want me to be. Doing all the things that I think you want to see. Trying to fulfill you with your every need. Now you're falling for a person that's not even me. You're falling for a person that's not even me. And now you're falling for a person that's not even me. Yeah, you're falling 'cause I forgot about the person that I used to be.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ellen and Hugo, I have often said if the music is good enough, I could read off the side of a cereal box. So thank you so much. And Stephanie for your support, and Brian and the tech team for doing such a great job of making me look good. Last time I stood in this chapel was 13 years ago, almost to the date. And I presented myself unintentionally as an imposter. I was here as a last pitch effort as a guest speaker. The event was the district annual assembly, and which this church was hosting, and it was an installation service on Friday night for the new district executive, Joan Van Beesler. And at the last minute, the minister who was supposed to do the charge to the district got snowed in and couldn't get here. So Joan looked at me. I owed her a chip, and she called it in. With an hour's notice, she said, "You are doing the charge to the district assembly." I couldn't say no. But I cobbled together a piece, something to say that might have some substance and meaning to the gathered people. The place was packed. And at my appointed moment, I bounded up right here from this pew and came bouncing up and spewed out whatever I had in my head and my heart. And then I sat down when I was finished and smiled with relief. And it was only later that I realized I never introduced myself. And everybody assumed I was actually Alice Blair Wesley, who was in the order of service. It wasn't until everybody during coffee hour reception later kept addressing me as Alice. So I'm finally here to correct that 13 years later. I am not Alice. I am Kate Walker, and I am so glad to meet you all. Your hospitality has been extraordinary, and your city has been welcoming to me. I've only gotten lost once in the last 24 hours, so we're off to a good start. Thank you very much for that. But as I return to this beautiful space, I am reflecting that once again, I find myself pushing against the edges of the imposter portrayal, complete with mask wearing and forced to meet you virtually. Virtually means nearly, almost. We are almost meeting. We find ourselves at a distance, not quite able to connect and truly meet one another. My calling to ministry compels me to place myself in front of you as authentically as possible, so that you can determine if I am to be invited into your spiritual journey and into your very personal lives. Yet here we are, almost meeting. And how we cross this space between us, it matters, particularly now during a pandemic time when physical distancing, well, it can save lives. But I think it's not a stretch to say that humanity has perpetually struggled to be real, to choose how we're going to be honest with one another, how we're going to meet, how we can authentically connect. So in seminary, we talked a lot about authenticity. We went through extensive psychological testing to not only ensure we were emotionally well-suited to this calling, that we weren't going to do any further harm. So that was a big part of our conversation as we increased our self-awareness. We needed to demonstrate that we knew ourselves and could present a true, authentic, not a polished imposter professional version of ourselves. With all the talk in seminary about this authenticity and being real, you can imagine my surprise when the psychologist who was reviewing my test results, and I can reassure you I did pass, she looked at me and shared her opinion that I appeared young, implying that perhaps I did not quite meet the expectation or the standards or the appearance of a professional minister. I was 31 years old at the time, and thanks to the genetic gifts from my ancestors, I've always appeared younger than I am. Well, fine, I thought. However, the psychologist didn't stop there. She suggested that perhaps I could consider aging myself a little, being a little more mature, a haircut, a wardrobe upgrade. And then I think she paused with this next part and said, "Have you ever considered wearing makeup?" Well, before seminary, I had been living in Boulder, Colorado, and working for Greenpeace. And I've always been kind of a Colorado woman for many years up to that point. I've never worn Birkenstocks. I'm more of a Teva sandal kind of woman. But I did present with my long hair, no makeup, and frankly, I didn't have any money for a professional wardrobe upgrade. But apparently, I was not yet ready to be in appearance as a professional minister. Authentic, I huffed. Well, so much for that, but I went for it. I went and got a professional haircut, learned how to put on some makeup, and I invested in a few upgrades in my professional wardrobe. What surprised me was that my classmates in seminary, they were so affirming, and with my revelation, my new me, authentic self, that it was clear that perhaps this was my destiny to be a little less Teva woman, I don't know, Boulder girl. When I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, I even bought a suit. Seemed more appropriate to that political terrain. But with this talk about authenticity and being real, I think it's also important to name that not everybody can be authentic, to be real with one another. Kristen Harper's beautiful reflection that we heard Stephanie provide a little bit ago is a vulnerable portrayal of what it is for a Black woman to present herself with tears and fears in this very white world. Safety needs to be as a taste worn long in the mouth before truth can truly be expressed. For the self to emerge in a world where fear and hatred is guided by the color of one's skin, one really needs to know, people of color need to know, really need to know, that a true celebration of humanity can only happen with trust, with knowing that their true humanity, the expansiveness of their true humanity will be celebrated. This is true for any of us, but for our Black, Indigenous, people of color, for Asian, for disabled, for the very old and the very young, we have to have some sense that we will be celebrated for our joys and our sorrows, for our successes and our failures, for our foibles, and for those fault lines that lie deep in our family history. And for the Black woman that Kristen Harper has lived as a Black poet and author, and as a Black Unitarian Universalist minister, she's been forced by the constrictions of the exterior white world of white privilege. She's been forced to the outer margins of white, polite society, and has never truly felt accepted authentically for her full self. If you want to know who I am the one that will look to the margins to see who needs to be invited in. I want to look to see who is being forced to wait on the edges while others hold the center. I want those forced to be imposters by white supremacy who are hiding their beautiful self, to instead to be able to know that they're celebrated into their fullness of being. If you want to know who I am one who is keenly aware and learning again and again every day about the impact of my white skin, long hair, short hair, makeup or not, no matter what I am wearing on the exterior, I still present with so much white privilege. If you want to know who I am, my beloved husband, Mark, well, he says I need to tell you that I'm a bit competitive and that I will always take the natural route home. There's a story to help unpack this very real statement. Back in 1999, while serving the Unitarian Universalist Church in Meadville, we went on a church camping trip up in the Adirondacks. The sites we went to were either hike-in or boat-in only sites, no car camping. There were about a dozen of us there. There was lots of campfire stories, lots of swimming, and some really fun games. Well, Mark and I are more of the backpacking type campers. We carry it in and we carry it out. Everyone else on this trip, well, they were boat-type campers. They packed in large coolers filled with food that needed ice every day. We soon divided into the backpackers versus the cooler campers. And each day we had to go into town to get some more ice for folks. Well, toward the end of the week, the friendly competition between the backpackers and the cooler campers picked up some speed, and we devised a race to see who could get back to the parking lot fastest, me on foot, or versus a small single-engine motorboat guided by a beloved member of my church. Now, do I really need to tell you who won? Did I mention the competitive part? Now, some ministers may have thrown the race in order to give love and affirmation to a beloved member of their church. That's not me. Competition for me, though, I need to be clear, is not about winning. It's actually about being the best I can be. And it's not about perfection either. I can feel perfectionism nipping at my heels. For me, it's more about the adventure, the excitement of doing something new. I am an achiever in my own lane. I am mostly competing with myself to be better than yesterday's version of who I am. But complicating my quest for achievement and adventure is my resistance to being vulnerable. Vulnerability, it's not a value in these United States where we value the frontier attitude. I like to be perceived as strong, as competent, and as smart. But each of these can be used as barriers, as masks to who I am. Yet being vulnerable is how two people can truly meet, heart to heart, soul to soul. It's how we learn how to help each other in giving and receiving love and affection and affirmation. I offer this with a heavy dose of humility because I'm quite certain most things are not achievable without help. You see, my beloved husband on that race day in 1999, he cleared the trail for me of innocent bystanders as I strive full speed ahead toward the parking lot. Sometimes we need people to intervene for us, be an ally, a witness, or an advocate. None of us journey alone. I need you as my partner in ministry. 23 years of ministry, 26 years since first cutting my long hair and putting on makeup and upgrading my wardrobe. I continue to seek authenticity, to realness and truth and honesty and a deep love that makes me whole and holy. A very smart white man once said, "We are constantly invited to be who we are." We are constantly invited to be who we are. That was Henry David Thoreau. I think this is the heart of the spiritual journey, to unfold into our fullness. And the religious institution, it offers the space for the invitation and the unfolding to happen. If you want to know who I am a religious leader called to form this creative institutional space for all of us to grow into our most authentic, true, and beautiful self. I think we're called to be like Lord Ganesha, to help each other use our gifts in order to make this a more beautiful and life-fulfilling experience. And I think it should be noted that Lord Ganesha is also the Hindu god of beginnings. If you want to know who I am, I like to laugh. I like to sing. I like to discover joy. I like life synchronicities. 13 years ago, when I stood here, I was actually headed down to Alexandria, Virginia, to begin my candidating week at Mount Vernon Unitarian Church. I like the synchronicity of that. I'm also a person who likes to ask why a lot, to the annoyance of my parents throughout my childhood and my husband. And if you want to know who I am, I like to let the tears flow when sorrow breaks my heart, to sob when the pain rips me apart, and to allow anger when injustice is thrust upon another living, breathing creature. For me, to live fully is to be real. If we're to know each other, to take off our masks and cross this virtual space, past our fears and our unmet needs, into a vulnerable space, we'll need courage for this journey. Authenticity requires courage in this quest to know oneself, to find our inner truths, and then to share them, knowing that compassion and affirmation and love will greet us. So if you want to know who I am, I seek a partnership with those who also seek to be better than they were yesterday. And here is the conundrum: trying to be better than we were yesterday while fully accepting who we are today. Self-acceptance while striving to be better. That's the spiritual journey. And I can promise I'm going to make some mistakes, and I will own up to it. And I know you're going to make some mistakes too, and I will bear witness and hear it. And I promise we'll get through this as long as we keep striving to be better tomorrow, and that we can laugh together now and then. That's so important, along with being in a relationship of love and compassion. I offer my ministry to you as I do to all, to be a part of the removal of our masks and cross into this virtual space, into our beautiful, rich selves. I want to meet you where you are, and I want to create a space where we can offer ourselves to this beautiful world as full, beautiful, and lovable people. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. harvest plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend like a willow in the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star, come out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sun shine. Let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. Round and round we go again. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance.
I chose these words for extinguishing our chalice. They're in the back of our gray hymnal number 456. And I chose them because these words are used by many Unitarian Universalist churches every Sunday across the country to extinguish their chalices, just as mine does and is this morning. And I want you to feel a little more connected to the larger network of our faith, knowing that our words are being borne by Unitarian Universalists all across this country. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. I hope you don't go very far, because there's a coffee, tea, you and me, right after this service that I hope you join me with. But I hope you find some sense of who you are in this moment and carry it with you. And bring yourself into the space that we are striving to create together. I hope to meet you soon, in whatever form it may be. I will bring my fullness. Please bring yours. May it be so. Return again in love.